This may be the 73rd time that you and your colleagues have asked this question. I'm not going to talk about those conversations, but I've had many conversations and continue to, as I have for weeks and weeks and weeks when Joe Biden was going to be our nominee, and now with Kamala Harris as our likely nominee. I talk to the campaign regularly because I want to do everything I can to make sure that Kamala Harris wins and that Donald Trump does not. I'm sorry, would I tell you? I think I've been very transparent about almost everything about being governor and everything that's occurred. And in this case, all I can say is that my guess is over the next 10 or 14 days, we'll all know who the vice presidential nominee is.
Yeah, well, we've known for a long time that he's trying to pave the way to the White House, and I think he senses a real opportunity. And so he is going to do what he needs to do to make that happen, I think.
I'll correct your timeline. I think I said no on Tuesday morning, that I had not received vetting documents. And then subsequently, I was asked the question, just so you can go back and look at your records. And what I've said repeatedly since then is that, I'm not going to talk about the conversations that I've had with the vice president or with her campaign, other than to say that I have committed myself to Kamala Harris, that I will go out and work my heart out for her to win this election, because we cannot have Donald Trump as president of the United States.
We see his agenda as a far left Marxist agenda. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the border. They continue to tax, borrow, and spend Illinoisans. So I think we'll just see all that ramped up on steroids if he was to become the second most powerful person in the United States as a vice president. I'm not really sure that Illinoisans can afford much more J.B. Pritzker. I'm pretty sure that America can't afford any more of the Democrat policies that, again, hundreds of thousands, millions of illegal immigrants are pouring across the border, the illegal drugs, the sex trafficking. This is not going to go, it's not going well, and it's not going to go well for America.
As you know, we have a partnership with Cook County and with the city of Chicago. There was an awful lot of planning that went into effect back in the early part of this year. And we're excited about the Democratic National Convention coming. We're also excited to have this partnership in place, as you know, and you can go to the City of Chicago's website to see how many beds are currently occupied, how many beds are available, and also that we have a plan for expanding that if necessary. So far, we have not seen the influx that we might have expected, and one of the reasons for that is because despite the fact that Donald Trump told Republicans to walk away from an immigration bill that would have helped us actually secure the border, that the president has nevertheless put in place a series of agreements with countries throughout Central America and North America, including Mexico, to make sure that we've stemmed the tide of border crossings. And so actually we've seen some of the lowest numbers of border crossings in the last 2 years over the last several months. And I check on that weekly, talk to the White House and others to make sure that that's still the case. Well, of course, we have a governor in Texas who cares nothing for the human beings who have crossed the border, who are in his state. He frankly ships them all across the country, including to Chicago, threatened to do it again when he was at the RNC. But we've not seen any evidence of him increasing the numbers that have been sent to the city of Chicago.
They are going to run out of money eventually. Money does not solve this problem. They talk about the Republicans failed or defeated the border bill, when in fact you can look at the numbers and see almost to the day when Joe Biden took office 3.5 years ago, he removed all of the executive orders, rescinded them, or put his own in that allowed traffic to come across the border at nearly 3 to 4 to 5 times the rate of the previous administration. We've always seen 300,000 to 400,000 crossings a year, but to go to nearly 2 million plus every year since Joe Biden took office 3.5 years ago is just phenomenal. To blame it on Abbott. I mean, the citizens of Texas can't take this any longer. Why should they be held responsible to pay the freight on bad Washington, D.C. White House policy? I don't understand it, but it's predictable and understandable of Democrats to say things like this.